All right, off we go then. Good afternoon, all of you. Welcome to my Pilates class, or your Pilates class, or our Pilates class. We will get going. So as always, we're going to do our standing warm-up. So just make sure that you stay safe, listen to your bodies, and rest anytime you need to. Remember, you don't need to do the whole sequences if you don't want to. Just go through the class as you feel fit and able to. So let's set ourselves up standing nice and tall, heels underneath our knees, underneath our hip bones. So just making sure you're standing really nice and tall. Try not to lock out your knees, otherwise we really tense up our thighs. So we have nice relaxed thighs, so your knees are just a little bit soft. And we're just going to grow that a little bit taller. So just lifting the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Just feel your shoulders, front of your shoulders open, the chest is wide, collarbones wide, and just drawing your rib cage down towards your hips. So just thinking about the alignment even of your rib cage into your hips. Just making sure that you just lengthen your tail down towards your heels, so we're not in a tip or tilt of the pelvis. We're in our neutral position in between. Arms by your sides, bring your shoulders forwards, bring your shoulders up by your ears, and slide your shoulder blades down towards the base of your spine. Then we can pull in and lift up our abdomen, so you've got that support around your center. Just a little bit gentle mobility to start off with. So just keep your shoulders back and down. Breathe in. As you breathe, just a gentle turn of your head to the left. So just turning your face towards the left side wall. And then breathing in back through, so just a little bit of mobility through your neck. Breathing out, we move away, and we breathe in, we look forwards. We're going to do that once more, so just turning your head, keep everything else completely still. And last time like that, look to the right. And back to center, very gently drop your chin towards your chest. So stretch into the back of your neck. Stay there, breathe in as you go. Just let your chin roll across your chest and take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Not the shoulder to the ear to the shoulder. Keep your chin tucked in, roll your chin across your chest again. Right ear towards the right shoulder. So we'll see that you're pulling your right shoulder down. And let's do that once more, that little head roll. So just that nice release into your neck. And last time, roll your chin across the chest to the right, chin to chest, and then look forwards. Let's do some gentle shoulder rolls, moving down the body a little bit. So breathing in, bring your shoulders forwards and up by your ears. As you breathe out, slide your shoulder blades back and down. So just feel any tension in your shoulders, your mid, your upper back sliding away as your shoulders pull back and down. So just focus on that breathing. Remember your lateral breathing, so you're breathing into the sides of your ribcage and into your back rather than into your belly. Do once more like that, and then breathe in. Just reach your arms forward, just to shoulder height, and breathing out, let them float down by your sides. Let's take the arms wide this time, just so that you reach your fingertips towards the side walls, and then bring your arms down by your sides. Breathing in, let's lift the arms all the way up over our shoulders this time. Nothing else moves. Keep your spine, your neck still, your hips still, and bring your arms down. Take the arms wide. So just turn your palms to face the ceiling now. Bring your arms over your shoulders. Turn your palms outwards and reach away through your arms as you bring your arms down by your sides. Now breathe in, arms come all the way up. And as you breathe out, they come wide. Do that once more, wide to side and up. And then take them wide to side and bring them down again. So let's just add in a little heel raise. So breathing in, we're just going to lift the heels off the floor as you just reach your arms forward, just to chest height, shoulder width apart. Gently drop your knees down onto the floor as your arms reach down. Heels lift, arms come a little bit wider. Reaching again, reach to the side walls, try not to lean forwards or backwards, and then just gently drop your heels onto the floor as your arms come down. Let's make that bigger if you can, keep it smaller if you need. Arms right over your shoulders, see if you can keep your heels off the floor as you reach wide. Bring the arms down and then drop the heels down onto the floor. And then last time, rising up, trying to keep your legs hip width apart as best as you can. Bring your arms right over your shoulders. I feel a bit wobbly today. And let's reach the arms wide and then bring your arms all the way down by your sides. Let's breathe in, float both of the arms up over your shoulders. And as just a very little gentle sway over, so a little side bend as we take our arms over to the left. Keep your head in between your arms. Head back right over your shoulders, and then the other side. So just that little C curve in your spine, side bend, and let's go again. And last time like that, you can stay with this. Otherwise, it's just let the arms drop over to the left and just let your Left arm, reach down towards the floor. Sweep it back up. Bring your arms right back over your shoulders. Take that leaning over, that bend over to the right, and drop your right hand down towards the floor. Bring the right arm up and come back. Let's do that once more each side. So just stretching your spine sideways. Just pull your ribs away from your hips. Keep your tummy pulling in, bring your arm up and straighten up. Last time, let's go over to the right and drop your right arm down. Sweep it back up. Arms over your shoulders, look forwards and a big reach wide side and pull your arms down by your sides. And then we're going to bring the arms forward. So they're shoulder height, shoulder width apart. Bow and arrow now, so a little spine twist. Breathe in as you bend your left elbow, follow the elbow with your eyes and pull the elbow back towards the wall behind you. So just that twist in your spine. Breathing in, glide that arm back through again, so you're looking forwards again. And then your right elbow, pull it back and look back. And then slowly glide it back through. So we're going to come back to this when we're sitting down. So just getting the spine nice and warm in rotation. So keep standing really nice and tall. Don't lean forwards, don't lean backwards. Just that twist. Let's do that once more. So your arms start to be a little bit heavy. So we're strengthening as we move our spines. And last time, that right elbow, pull it back. Reach your arms forward. Just spread your arms up towards him. Take a little look up and take a stretch, fingertips to the ceiling. Then look forwards as you bring your arms wide and bring them all the way round and down by yourself. Just take a shoulder away, slide your shoulder blades back and down. We're going to do a little bit of forward flexion now. We're going to do a little bit of a combination here. So stand with your feet hip width apart. Just soften into your knees and soften into your thighs just a little bit. So then first of all, we're going to do a squat. So breathe in. As you breathe out, sit back and down. Reach your arms forward. Keep your neck and your spine long. Push into your heels, coming out of your squat. Lift your heels off the floor, keep your spine long, reach your arms over your shoulders, circle your arms wide side and down and drop your heels down onto the floor. And then breathe in. As you breathe out, drop your chin towards your chest. Let's roll down through our spines now. So you don't need to come all the way down. You can slide your hands down your thighs, you can bend your knees if you need to, into your forward fold. Breathe in as your right navel comes in towards the spine. Pull it in and slowly just restack your spine. Try not to look forwards until your shoulders right over your hips. Then we're going to look forwards. Then we're going to sit back and down again in your squat. Keep your spine and your neck long, sitting back. Pushing into your heels as you come out of your squat. Then find your balance. Float the arms up over your shoulders. Keep the heels down if you need to. Others lift the heels away from the floor. Take your arms wide. Bring the arms all the way down by your sides. Breathe in as you breathe out. Let's come down. So we'll make sure you're really mobilizing every bone of your spine if you can. So one vertebrae at a time releases down towards the floor. You might be here with your knees really bent. You might have your hands on your thighs. So support your spine if you need to. Slowly coming back up again. So scooping in through the center. Let's do that once more. Look forwards when your shoulders are over your hips. And then exhale, let's sit back and down. Push your heels into the floor, squeeze your glutes as you stand tall. And then float your arms, lift your heels, keep them down if you're a little bit wobbly today. Take your arms wide to side, bring your arms all the way down by your sides. Drop your heels down onto the floor. Last time, we're slowly coming down into that forward fold. So we're going to stay down this time. So if you need to bend your knees a lot, bend them a lot. Let's put our hands on the floor in front of your feet. And we're just going to walk out onto that. So maybe 3 hand faces forward. Then align your hands up and put your knees on the floor right underneath your hips. So just making sure you're really nice and square. Shoulder blades are back and down before you start. Tummy's pulling in, lengthen from the top of your head to your tail. Cat and cow next. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tuck your tailbone under. So we're rounding your spine. Just widen your shoulder blades across your back. Change that in towards your chest. Then as you breathe in, we're going to tip the sit bones up towards the ceiling, then dip the spine. Slide your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Look forwards, chest is forwards. And let's go again. Tuck the tail, round the spine. So try to keep your arms and your legs still for that really lovely stretch in your spine. And then let's stretch the spine and open up the chest when we come into our extension. So we're in our cow pose. If you need to come down on your forearms, that's always an option. Do that once more. You can make fists of your hands if you need to. We always have options. Last time, into your cow pose, so like stretching our spine the other way or moving our spine the other way. Then just lengthen your spine back into that tabletop position again. So we're going to just add a little bit of flexion, side bend in our spine now. So breathe in. As you go, just gently sway your hips to the left and turn your head to the left, but you're trying to look towards your left hip. So you feel like opening in the right side, a bit of a crunch in your left-hand side. Straighten your spine, a gentle sway of your hips to the right and turn your head to the right, look towards your right hip. And coming back, let's do that once more each side. Twisting to your hips to the left. And then last time, just that sway hips to the right and just look towards your right hip. And then from there, we're back in tabletop. We're just going to do a little bit of thread the needle now. So let's start with our left hand. So breathing in, we're going to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Follow the hand with your eyes, open your shoulders and your chest. And then as you breathe out, bend your right elbow and thread that left arm underneath you. So you bring your left shoulder down towards where you're looking at your arm or your hand. Then push into your right hand and put your left hand back down underneath your shoulder. Breathing in, we're going to lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. So try and stack your shoulders, right shoulder over your left, then bending into that left elbow, threading your right arm underneath you. So you just follow the arm with your eyes, your right shoulder's coming down towards the floor. Try to rest the shoulder on the floor. Press into your left hand, straighten your left arm, put your right hand down. And let's go again, left arm, reach up. Again, do this on your forearms if you want to as an option. Threading under, reaching through, so try not to pull your hips around with you. Push into your right hand, left hand comes down, right arm, reach it up. So anytime you need to take a break, you can put both of your hands on the floor, just pull yourself back, sit bones to heels into a child's pose. Otherwise, I'm just going to do that once more each side, so take it nice and slow. Big in-breath, fill yourself up with air. As you reach up, slowly breathing it out as you dive the arm underneath you. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper. And then your left hand comes down. Last time with your right arm, sweep it up, look up. So lots of mobility through our spines here. And reaching through. And then straighten your left arm. Put your right hand down, and we can just come up just to take a little bit of release. Sit on your heels or high knee if you prefer, and just roll your shoulders. Slide your shoulder blades back in. And you might also just want to wiggle your fingers a little bit and circle your wrist. So now we're going to come down and lie all the way down on our fronts. So just bring yourself onto your forearms, and then your hips and your chest are going to come down on the floor. So we're going to swim today. So swimming on our fronts. I'm going to give you options as well. So first of all, we can work legs only. So stack your hands, rest your forehead on the backs of your hands and lengthen your neck. So just tucking your chin just a little bit there. Just try and pull your shoulder blades back and down towards your hips. And then just lengthen your legs a little bit. Make sure your heels are in line with your knees and your sit bones. So you've got the front of your feet flat on the floor. Try and pull your sit bones back so you're drawing your tailbone down towards the bottom end of the mat and scoop your tummy in away from the mat. So from here, breathe in. Nice big in-breath. As you breathe it, just lengthen your right leg and just gently float your right leg away from the floor. So try and get your knee off the floor if you can without bending it. Breathing in, lower it back down again. Then your left leg, lengthen it and lift it. So you just feel that in your back of your leg, into your hands, bring into your front of the thigh as well. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. And maybe just squeeze your glute a little bit as you lift and lower the leg. It will probably just engage automatically, but just a little squeeze of your glute. Reach your toes towards the wall behind you. Let's do that again. Last time with your left leg. You can stay with this if you want to. Let's add in our upper body. So just keep both of your feet on the floor. Slide your hands from underneath your forehead and extend your arms long overhead, shoulder width apart with your palms facing inwards, and then pull your shoulder blades back and down. So we haven't got our shoulders up by our ears, we're pulling them back and down. And again, just hover your head off the mat if you can, or you could always put your head on a cushion if you wanted to. Let's so again, opposite arm, opposite leg, so breathe in. As you breath, we're going to lift the right leg and the left arm. Keep your spine and your neck completely still. And inhale, very lightly put your arm and your leg back down. Extend your left leg and your right arm. Just feel like you're reaching through your fingertips, reaching through your toes. So think length, not height. Strength and length is what we're aiming for, not height. It doesn't need to be a big lift, but just really feel your length and your leg long out of your hip. And lifting the opposite arm away from the floor. Try not to pull your shoulder up towards your ear as you float the arm. So this might be enough for you. You can go back to legs only, or you can work your arms only if you want to rest your legs. Some of you might feel super strong today. Let's do one more left leg and right arm, and we've done the same amount of singles each side. If you feel you can, we're going to exhale as we lift both of the arms and both of the legs away. Squeeze your glutes, reach your toes, your fingertips. Keep your spine and your neck still, lower the arms and legs back down. And do that 3 more times, singles, doubles, legs or arms only. So lots and lots of options. Take a rest if you need to. Make sure there's no pinching in your lower back when you lift your legs. So press your pelvis down into the floor. And can we do one more? So really good for our posture. Strengthening all the way down the back of your body. And perfect. Lower your arms into your legs. Stack your hands, rest your forehead lightly on the backs of your hands. Lift your feet off the floor, bring your heels over your hips and just very gently let your legs windscreen wiper from side to side. So just a little bit of release around your legs, your hips. Just that gentle little sway. And then line your heels back up with your sit bones. Extend your legs long towards the bottom end of the mat. Pop your hands underneath, right underneath your shoulders, tuck your elbows in, push yourself up onto your hands and knees, and pull your sit bones back towards your heels. So take a really lovely stretch. So you might not be able to sit on your heels, but angle your backside towards your heels if you can. Keep it smaller if you need to. You might just be here, that's fine. Or we might be right sitting on our heels. And then let's slowly just bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. Come on your hands and knees towards the bottom end of the mat. So take that little walk. Take your legs to one side and bring them forwards. So you've got the length of the mat behind you. So when we do lie down, your head will be on the mat, not on the floor behind you. So if you remember when we did our standing warm up, we did our bow and arrow standing. I said we were going to do that. Again, we're going to repeat that. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to do a little half roll back first and then add our bow and arrow. I'll talk you through it. So first of all, let's make sure you've got a really nice seated posture. So you might just want to put your hands behind your thighs and just gently press your hands into your thighs and really build your spine. Sit really tall at the top. Roll your shoulder blades back and down and make sure your neck is in line with your spine. And we've got a nice connection to our centre now. So pull and lift up through your centre. Just make sure you've got it aligned with your heels, your knees, and your hips. You're sitting really nice and tall in your neutral alignment. So just nice and gentle first of all. If anybody needs to, keep your hands behind your thighs for support as you roll back. If you're happy to and confident, just reach your arms forward so they're shoulder height, shoulder width apart. Breathe in, maybe we can lengthen our spines a little bit more. And then as you wrap, find your C curve. So rounding the spine. We're just going to slowly roll off our pelvis, just coming onto your lower back. Breathe in, make sure you're really scooping so you're using those core muscles, pull them in and slowly come back up. Shoulders right over hips and sit really tall at the top. Breathe in as you breathe out. So you might just want to stay with this, or you might be here, with your hands behind your thighs. So coming back up and sit tall at the top. Once more. So just that flexion in your spine, working through your centre. And so we can build on this. If you can, come with me. Let's start with our left arm. We're going to do our bow and arrow. So breathe in. As you breathe, we're going to do exactly the same. Roll off your sit bones, tuck your tail under. As you roll back, pull your left elbow back and down towards the side of your mat behind you. You're looking at your elbow here. Breathing in, we're going to reach the arm back through and sit really tall at the top. Breathe in as you back your right elbow, pull it back and down towards the edge of your mat, the inside edge of your mat, not the outside edge of your mat, behind you. Coming back up, sit tall at the top. So just imagine you've got bow and arrow, and we're just pulling that bow back on that arrow. So drawing back, just reach the elbow towards the mat behind you. It doesn't need to touch the mat. You might not be anywhere near the mat with your elbow. You might just want to keep the elbow higher if you want to. Otherwise, let's take it a little bit lower if you can. Some of you might even be able to get your elbow on the mat, but don't struggle. Coming back up and sit tall each time. So you keep your C curve when you come down, and then you keep the C curve until your shoulder hits, and then we sit tall at the top. Can we keep going? And let's do one more like that. And then let's just reach your arms. So let's stay looking forwards this time. Breathe in as you just open both of your arms wide to the side as you do your little gentle roll back. Breathing in, let's reach your arms forward and sit tall. Let's do that once more. So no twist in the spine this time, just that C curve, that flexion of your spine. Open the arms wide, soften your elbows. Bring the arms back in towards you, and then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Slide your heels away. So it's like in an L shape here. Breathe in as you work. Just fold yourself over your legs. Bend your knees if you need to. So nose towards your knees, hands towards your toes, and your chest towards your thighs. Just take a lovely stretch there. And breathe in now, just point your toes, put your hands on your feet or your shins, and just slowly slide your hands up the front of your legs. Don't rush. And then sit tall at the top. Big shoulder roll there, slide your shoulder blades back and down. Bend your knees again, knees and feet hit the rest. So then roll all the way down to stay down. Some of you might want to put your hands on the mat to support you. Some of you might want to go onto your side and come down that way. Otherwise, if you can, come with me. So we're going to reach your arms forward, breathe in. As you breathe out, slowly imprint your spine down onto the mat, one vertebra at a time. So no collapsing, go really slowly. Once your head and your shoulders are on the floor, if you come down this way, your arms go back in line with your ears. And we're going to take a big circle of your arms wide to the side and pull them in and rest your hands on the floor by the side of your hips. Then slide your feet in a little bit. So however you came down, make sure we arrive at this semi-supine, this lying down position with your knees bent and knees and feet hip width apart. So just take a moment to make sure you're in a nice neutral position. So your shoulders are wide across your back on the mat. Some of you might want to have a cushion or a block like this, or a folded up towel. Or if you've got a cushion or a towel, it should be about that thickness. So you might want to just put that underneath your head to support your head, back of your neck. Otherwise, if the back of your head's on the mat, just make sure that your head's not hanging backwards. So you're keeping back the neck open as always. Your back ribs are on the floor, your front ribs are drawing down towards your hips. Just take a moment, let's just mobilize our pelvis. So just take a little tuck under with your toe and flatten your lower back onto the mat. And then let's arch the lower back away from that. So you've done a big tip and tilt of your pelvis. And then just find that position in between. So your pelvis is in its neutral position. So it's level. And then we can pull in and lift up. So you've got that support around your centre. So drawing in your belt and zipping up your trousers again. So you've got that nice support to stabilise your pelvis. But more importantly, maybe, is to support your spine. Arms are going to come down by your sides with your palms facing inwards, thumbs towards the ceiling. Take a big in breath as you breathe out. We're going to extend the left leg towards the bottom end of the mat, and your right arm is going back. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So that coordination, just as we did when we were prone, lying on our fronts in our swimming. Breathing in, the foot comes in, the arm comes back down by your sides. Then reach your right leg away, and your left arm goes back. Try not to pull your rib cage up. And bring the leg back in again. So you might not want to extend your leg fully. If you feel there's movement in your lower back, maybe just keep a little bit soft bend in the knee. Otherwise, you just really extend your leg right towards the bottom end, and you could even slide your heel along the floor if you wanted to. Let's change that just a little bit. So next time your left leg stretches away, take two arms up towards the ceiling, towards the floor behind you. And then as you breathe in, suck your arms wide to side. Pull your arms in towards your hips and bring your foot next to your right foot. And then your right leg, extend it away or slide your heel along the floor if you want to. Arms go back, arms circle wide to side, and they pull in. So lots of mobility through our shoulders, opening up the chest. Big exhale as you go back and away, and a big inhale as your arms circle wide and you bring that foot back in. So let's carry on with that. Go back to single arms if it's too much. Once more, left leg reach away. It's almost like we're trying to reach our fingertips and toes away from each other. And bring your arms wide and in last time with your right leg. Stretch with lots of length in that extending leg, lots of movement through our shoulders as we circle our arms. So we're back where we started, hopefully. So a little bit different next time. We're going to keep the knee bent this time. So instead of stretching your leg away, we're going to bring the knee up over your hip, starting with opposite leg, opposite arm again. So just reset, make sure you're stable across your pelvis and your shoulders. Arms down by sides, palms face your hips. Breathe in. As you breathe out, this time your left foot's going to come off the floor. You're just going to bring your left knee right over your head as your right arm goes back. Left foot goes really lightly on the floor as your right arm comes down. So you just bring your alternate legs to that tabletop position as the opposite arm goes back. So the arm is straight, almost like a scissor blade cutting through the air, and you're just hinging from your hip. So when you bring your knee in, it's not here in towards your chest, because if you do that, you're going to feel the whole of your spine pressing down into the floor. You just bring the knee right over your head, maybe not even right over your head. If you're limited in your mobility, you can just hover the foot off the floor if you want to. And let's do one more like that. So just like we did with our leg extensions, we're going to make those double arm circles. So next time you lift your left foot off the floor, bring your knee over it, take both of your arms up and towards the floor behind you. Circle your arms wide to the side and round and pull them in as your foot comes back down. And then let's go again, right knee over your hip, arms go back, arms circle wide to the side as your foot comes back down. And let's go again. So you should feel this, when you lift your foot off the floor, you should feel those core muscles in your lower belly area there. You should really feel them really switching on to keep your spine completely still and your hips still. Let's do that once more each side. You can go back to single arms if you need to. But remember, it's really good to get as much mobility into our joints as we can. So lots of ranges of movement and lots of different directions that we're moving through our joints as well. So we're going to bring our arms back down by our sides, hands on the floor down by your sides, and just release up a little bit. So breathe in as you breathe. Just let your knees fall away from each other. So you're just coming onto the outside of both of your feet. Open up your hips and then pull the knees back in. Let's do that again. Let your knees drop away and pull back in. So that should feel quite nice. A bit of a stretch in your inner thigh. Let's just do that once more because we can, because it feels good, hopefully. And then pull the knees back in towards each other. So lots of focus there with our head and shoulders down. Let's bring the focus up to our upper core muscles a little bit now. So let's interlace our fingers. Take your hands behind your head. Put your head and your hands back down and just float your elbows slightly away from the floor. So remember, we just need to be able to see our elbows out of the corners of our eyes. So we're not here with our arms hugging our face. They're just slightly lifted away from the floor. Try and keep the distance between our elbows the same. So we're just supporting the back of your head and your hands here. Breathe in. Nice begin breath. As you breathe out, we're just going to lift the head and then feel your upper spine all the way back. So just coming up, just maybe just looking over the tops of your knees and breathing in, slowly coming back down again. So don't hurry. So we're really making sure we're using our core muscles here. So we're scooping in, we're not pushing them outwards. Make sure you're pulling them inwards as you curl up. And try not to tuck your tailbone under. If you come up too high, your tailbone's going to curl under. We're going to start to move our pelvis. We're going to keep our pelvis as still as you can. Just really focus on working with your breath. So big in breath when you're down, and then that slow exhalation as we come up. So as you exhale, you can really pull in through your center. We can add in, if you want to, just a little bit of mobility, again through your hip. Only if you feel you can. Breathe in. As you breathe, just lift your left foot off the floor, just like we did before. Bring your left knee over your hip as you lift your head and shoulders off the mat. And slowly put your foot back down as your head and shoulders come back down onto the floor. And then your right knee, float it again. It's not coming into your chest, just over your hip. And very lightly put your foot down as your head and shoulders come down. So you can keep going like this. Or you can keep your head and shoulders down and just do your knee floats if you want to, or keep your feet on the floor and just do your upper body. Otherwise, it's almost just like a little seesawing move. We'll bring the chest towards the thigh, not the thigh towards the chest, note. and just hinging at your hips. At the same time, we're getting that mobility in our upper spine, that strength in those deep core muscles, uppers, and lower. And last time, remember, take a rest if it becomes too much at any time. Last time, your right knee comes up over your hip as your head and shoulders come up, your foot goes down onto the floor. Head comes down, just take your hands from underneath your head, reach your fingertips long behind you, let's stretch. Take your arms wide to the side and let's bring the arms to us slightly on the mat down by our sides. Let's do some shoulder bridges. So really opening up the hips, lots of mobility through our spines. As long as your spine is quite mobile, we can keep it small if you need to. And lots of strength, back of the body, glutes, hips, hamstring and core as well. So just set yourself up. So you're probably familiar with the position for your bridge by now, but same alignment, heels, knees and hip bones, but just make sure you just walk your heels in just that little bit closer towards your sit bones. Keep the length in your neck, make sure your head's on the mat, not on a head support of any kind. Arms on the mat by your side, just have your palms facing downwards. And just make sure, as always, before you start moving, we've got that connection to your senses, pulling into your center and lifting up. When you're ready, breathe in. As you breathe out, off we go. Tuck your tail under first of all, then engage your glutes, squeeze your buttocks, and then slowly let's peel our spine away from the mat. So you don't need to come up this high. If you can, you're just going to arrive on your shoulders. Breathe in, keep your spine still. As you breathe out, slowly coming back down again. So just carry on with that if you can. Your option would be just do that little tuck under, that little pelvic tip and the tilt. So you can just move that very low portion of your spine, just that little tip and tilt. That might be enough for you today. Otherwise, we're coming all the way up onto our shoulders, making sure you're really balanced. So you're balanced and symmetrical both sides of the body. Your hips are level. And the weight's in both of your feet, both of your shoulders, and slowly coming back down again. Almost like you're dribbling your spine down into the mat. So we're just trying to get as much movement into our spine. So each and every one of our vertebrae should be opening up and moving as we peel away and release back down. Strong your glutes. Feel like just really trying to pull your sit bones in as you come up and down. Some of you, we've done this before. If you want to, just float your arms up towards the ceiling when you come into your bridge. That would be an option. And then if you can, just take your arms all the way to the floor behind you as you lift your hips high. So just reaching along behind you with your hips high. Then breathe in as you breathe out. Just let your arms float up over your shoulders. And we're just going to gently allow them to float back down by your sides as you bring your spine back down. It's only an option. Keep your arms by your sides if you prefer, or just take them up over your shoulders here. You don't want to take them all the way back, otherwise we're reaching back. Tuck your tail under a little bit, try and make sure we're really lengthened when we're in our bridge, and that movement down your spine as you come out. Should we do that one more time? You could probably do this quite comfortably, lots of times a day. Just a really nice stretch, but still working a lot into strengthening all the way down the back body into our legs as well. And probably more importantly, into our glutes. So last time, let's slowly come all the way down. Spine rests on the mat. Lift your feet off the floor one at a time. Just give your knees a hug and take a rock from side to side. So with your knees in towards your chest, you should feel that the whole of your spine is on the mat. So you can just take that little rock from side to side and just allow your spine to release into the mat. Let's move back to glutes and hips. So we're just going to do some knee circles today. So again, if you want to put your head back on a cushion, support, head support, folded up towel, anything at all, pop that underneath your head before you set yourself up. Have your arms light on the mat down by your sides, arms are long, shoulders strung away from the ears, lots of stability across our shoulders and across our hips. So just bring your spine into that same position that we had before we started to do our leg and arm extensions, and just making sure you've got that connection to your center. So from here, we're going to bring the right foot off the floor, bring your right knee over your hip. So try not to flex your foot or over point your toe, just softly point your toes. And for your knee circles, remember, just imagine you've got a pencil sitting on top of your right kneecap here. And we're going to draw circles on the ceiling with that pencil, but all the while we keep our pelvis, our hips, our spine and our shoulders completely still as best as you can. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to start to circle that leg away from the midline of the body. And breathe in, it comes across. So you've just drawn a big circle. It might be a small circle on the ceiling with that imaginary pencil sitting on top of your kneecap. So we're going to try and do 8 of these each way, each direction in each leg. If you need to do a few amount of repetitions, of course, that is absolutely fine. You might even want to just pop your hands on your hip bones there, just to make sure there's complete stillness. They're not rocking from side to sides. If they are, just make your circles smaller. So try not to wiggle through your foot. That stays still. So it's your thigh bone. We're circling around and around your hip socket. Remember where your breath is going, so we're breathing into the sides of your ribcage and into the back, so trying to keep that connection to your center here. And let's keep going. Try and have your left foot light as a feather on the floor. Your left knee, try not to let it wander from side to side, just keep it facing the ceiling. I think that must be about 8 in that first direction. So then all we're going to do is unwind those circles. So try not to use your arms to stabilize. Use your core muscles. So keep pulling them in, lifting them up. Use your breath. So you might feel this is becoming quite challenging. Your hips, your glutes, maybe a little bit into your hip flexors there, in between your top of your thigh and your hip. Maybe you're feeling it there. And let's do 2 more. And last time. So really good to keep healthy hips, mobile, fluid and strong. So really good for keeping our hips strong and mobile. And then let's hug that right knee in towards your chest. You might just want to circle your right ankle, a few circles one way and then a few circles the other way. Then gently put your foot back down on the floor and reset. Before you lift your left foot off the floor, make sure everything's stable, strong and supported. And then let's lift the left foot off the floor. You can just softly point your toes, not over pointing, not flexing the foot, just that little bit of openness in the front of your foot. When you're ready, breathe in as you breathe out. It goes to circle away from that midline and then it comes across. And keep going. It's exactly the same as you did on the other side. Stillness everywhere else, apart from your breathing, of course. So you feel your ribs expanding as you breathe in. Just relax your arms, shoulders, chest. Try not to tense up your upper body. Your right foot now is light as a feather on the floor, so try not to press into your foot or let your right knee wander from side to side. So you probably find that one hip is a little bit more free than the other maybe. You can take the circles a little bit bigger, one side of your body than the other, possibly, not uncommon. And let's do 1 more that way. So we're aiming for 8 each way. So sometimes I lose count, so just make sure that you're either coming with me or just count for yourself. So always trying to do the same amount of repetitions in each direction on both sides of your body. So keep making balanced and even. And 4 more, I think, for me anyway. You might just be going a little bit more slowly than me. Try not to go any faster. So keeping it slow, controlled. And last time. Perfect. And let's just hug that left knee in towards your chest now. And circle your ankle. A few circles one way and a few circles the other way. So let's just release off a little bit. So put both your feet down onto the floor. Pin your knees and your feet together, ankle bones and your knee inside of your knees are glued together. Let's reach your arms wide. You might just turn your palms up to face the ceiling, relax your shoulder blades into the mat. So your arms and your shoulders are glued to the floor. Lengthen your neck, tuck your tailbone under just a little bit, and then just breathe in. Just do our gentle hip thrust. Just drop your knees over to the left and turn your head to the right. And then slowly coming back up through center, and then knees to the right and your head turns to the left. That just again, that little twist in your spine. Make sure you're working through the waist. And some of you, so who've been doing Pilates for quite some time, you might have quite a good amount of core strength now. If you feel you want to, just lift your feet off the floor, bring your knees over your hips, pin your knees, your ankles, just softly point your toes, have both your legs in tabletop. Already feel that challenge in those lower abdominals, and then you can do your side to side with your feet off the floor. So a lot more challenging now. So put your feet down if you need to, or make the movement smaller if you need to. So just don't take your knees so far over to the side. And let's do one more to the left, head to the right, pull the knees back up, and last time to the right, look to the left, and bring your knees back in. And then again, just that release off, so just hugging your knees in just allows us just to open up our lower back a little bit, and we can just release off. And then you might just want to put your hands on your knees, pin your knees and your feet together, and then just gently roll your hips and your lower back around that. So you just draw circles around that with your hips and your lower back. So just a nice little gentle massage, just going round and round. And then we can just bring the knees in and take the circles around the other way. And once more like that. And then from there, put your feet down on the floor. So we're going to come up and over into tabletop again today. So bring your hands behind your thighs, roll yourself up to seated, or go onto your side if you want to come up into tabletop that way. Otherwise, roll yourself up. So then take your legs round to one side, put your hands on the floor in front of you. So we're back where we started on our hands and knees. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Make sure your knees are underneath your hips. Again, make fists in your hands if you want to, or again, if you need to drop onto your forearms, that would be an option. Finishing off as we began, let's breathe in as we breathe out. Let's do a cat stretch. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin, scooping in. Shoulder blades wide, push back. So take a really nice stretch here. And then go the other way, tip your sit bones up towards the dip your spine, shoulder blades back and down, and lift forwards. Then legs in your spine back into that neutral position again. Still like a gentle hip sway, so breathe in. As you breathe, just gently sway your hips to the left and turn your head. You're trying again to look towards your left hip. You might find it a little bit easier than you did a little while ago. Nice and warm in our spines, and then just gently sway the hips to the right and look towards your right hip. And then slowly lengthen, you're coming back into your tabletop. From here, we're just going to gently walk our hands to our knees, tuck your toes under, lift your knees off the floor and walk your hands to your toes. So you can stay here if you can, and just big bend to the knees, just rest your chest on towards your thighs. Make sure you bring your tummy in tight here, and just very gently shake your head and nod your head. Try not to tense your arms, your shoulders and your chest. And then very slowly, just straighten your legs and keep your knees bent as much as you need to. Then look at your knees, breathe in as you breathe out, coming very slowly. Come all the way up to standing. So same way as we did before, we're just restacking our spines. Let's take a big shoulder roll, slide your shoulder blades back and down, then down again. Breathe in as you breathe out, chin to chest, and we're rolling down. So again, one vertebrae at a time. So you should find this a lot easier than you did at the beginning of the class. So you should be a lot more stretched in the back of your legs, your hips, lots of warmth in our spine. Big bend in the knees here if you need to. Remember, be very mindful of how your back feels. Let's slowly come all the way up, slowly coming up, standing nice and tall at the top. Just take a shoulder roll there. So you can come with me, or you can just roll down again and roll up again through your spine. We're just going to do a little bit of a ragdoll movement here. So breathing in, we're going to bring the arms over our shoulders. Just bend your knees a little bit. Big in breath. As you breath, just sweep your fingertips down towards the front, bring your chest towards your thighs. And then breathing in, we're going to straighten up. We're going to look up and reach our arms up towards the ceiling, looking up. And breathing out, we're going to sweep the fingertips down towards the floor, look towards your knees, sweep your arms back down, and reach up. Pull your tummies in tight. Keep it really small if you need to. Big sweep, and your arms are ragdoll arms, are just hanging from your shoulders. And do that once more, sweep down. And sweep your arms up, push your feet, pull your tummies in tight, reach your arms long overhead. Take a really good stretch, breathe in, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. As you breathe out, just reach your arms wide side, pull your arms slowly all the way down by your sides, fingertips towards the floor. Now breathe in, bring your shoulders up by your ears, a big in breath. Just exhale and just let it all go. Big shoulder shrug, breathing in, shoulders to ears, and breathe out. Let's do that one more time. That should feel really good. Big shoulder shrug. And just let it all go again. Perfect. Congratulations. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining.